you can't build a successful business without taking risks. Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Wealth Creation. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. With me today is me. We have a solo episode, and we're going to be talking about, look, you got to take action. You have to take risks. Anybody out there that's been doing this business for a while, or any business, quite frankly, for a while, knows that the market ebbs and flows. And the market right now is in really a weird spot. And if you're in real estate investing, if you're in almost any business, you're at a position where the market is just trying to figure out what's going on. And you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. We had a huge run up. And of course, that was preceded by one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen, the Great Recession, right? And that was preceded by a huge run up. So depending on, how old you are that you're listening to this, you've been able to see, and maybe multiple, right? I've been alive for several recessions and several run-ups. I don't remember too much to a degree some of the earlier ones, but I do remember in the 90s hearing about high unemployment and things like that. And then of course I lived through the big run up into the 2000s, into the .com. And then it's 2008 into the recession, and of course today, and the market ebbs and flows, and that's just how it goes. That's it's always going to be that way. And I think a lot of times we feel like we are maybe in a time where it's just going to continue to go up, where it's just going to never stop. And we get excited, we get overexcited sometimes. And we say, man, we got to keep on going, keep on building. And building is good, right? Taking risks is awesome. That's the only way you're going to grow business. That's it. You can't build a successful business without taking risks. And you can't build a successful business about being excited about the opportunities and being excited about where the market is and where it's going. But you also have to be cognizant of what cycle or part of the market you're in. And I'm not talking about trying to time the market. I'm talking about trying to understand just reality and what could be coming. And again, you can't predict. So I know people that predicted back in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, that the market was going to crash. And that never happened. And they missed out on a lot of opportunity. Now, some of them just pivoted kind of what they were doing. They thought certain segments of the market were frothy. So they pivoted out of that and they went into others, which that's fine. But a few, I know one guy who sold his big apartment portfolio. He had a bunch of apartments and he sold them and he got out of the market. And that was like 2016, 2015, 2016, sold everything. And he missed out on a lot of opportunity. So be careful about predicting, but do understand that the market's going to go through times. And so how can you set yourself up for success? That's how you have to think about it. I think building is appropriate at any time in the market. But I think you have to look at, okay, what can I do as this market gets maybe a little frothier? What can I do right now to kind of hedge against that potential, right, of a recession happening? How can I protect my business? How can I protect my investors? How can I protect, what I've been building throughout the years How can I make sure that whatever decisions I make aren't going to be detrimental to my business? So in real estate, we talk about, hey, buy in a great location, buy with great financing, and make sure it cash flows. Those are three fundamentals. If you don't have those three fundamentals, you put a lot more risk on the deal than probably is necessary. And if you can't buy with those three fundamentals, maybe don't buy, right? And so we have to make sure, right, we're being prudent in our decisions. The other thing to think about too, again, is as markets ebb and flow. Okay, we know that. Understand that when it is a time, so right now it's a time of weirdness, right, of potential difficulty for sponsors, and there's some owners, business owners, or some real estate investors that are just they're so far underwater, they're losing so much money that unfortunately it's not savable. But if it is, okay, if you can continue to move on, you have to understand that the market always goes up. I was talking with a broker, a real estate broker, who had invested in a ton of deals. And he had 10 deals in the Great Recession, 10 deals that had capital calls, 10 capital calls. And he begrudgingly put in money on all 10 of those capital calls. He said, took a few years, but every single deal ended up getting back on track, and every single deal ended up selling and making us decent returns. Okay. So it takes a while. He wasn't excited, certainly, but those deals made it through. Investors ended up believing enough in the deals. The sponsors of those deals ended up, not being so far underwater. They actually had at least decent fundamentals to where that deal worked. Those deals worked. And I'm sure they busted their tail. I'm sure they really looked at hard at what they're doing in their business and to try to protect their investors' money. And that's what they were able to do and provide, in his words, decent returns. I don't know what that looks like. I didn't dive into the numbers. But, as we talked, it sounded like, double digit returns for all the investors. And that's excellent, right? That's what we want. So understand that if you're looking at, man, this sucks. It's the market's going down. I mean, so many people just gave their properties up, 2008 to 2013. They just gave their properties to the bank. And some of them, I know several people that did it, and they actually were sitting on cash flow. That property was making them money, but they just said, the value's not there. What it was worth 300,000. Now it's worth 150. I'm just going to give it to the bank. But, I've got a loan for, 275. Like, why would I keep this thing? It'll never get back up there. And they're making money. They're literally making money on it. And they have such short-sightedness that they don't see that the market ebbs and flows, and the market will correct, and the market will come back. And when it's super high, it corrects and it comes back down. And when it's super low, it corrects and comes back up. So just understand that. Anyways, be a patient investor. Take risks. Definitely take risks. Take calculated risks. Think about what you're doing. Sometimes those risks are going to potentially bite you. But if you're doing things the right way, more often than not, those risks are going to reward you, and reward you very well indeed. That's it. I'm signing off. Hey, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Go to the Ranger reviews. I would love to have you put a rating on there, a 5-star, hopefully, rating, and keep on listening. Hit the subscribe button. And yeah, that's it. Make every day Saturday. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. Say, I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. But your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.